Tonight, a special report on a crime wave leaving victims facing financial ruin. There are thousands of cases of tool theft in London each year as thieves brazenly help themselves to thousands of pounds worth of equipment. For those targeted, the consequences can be devastating.
I felt to myself, that's it. I'm worthless. I've got no use to no one. I've got no work. Well, I've got work, but I've got no tools to do the work. I can't provide for my family and my kids.
Sorry, mate, did you stop recording me?
We go on the trail of stolen goods, which takes us to a car boot sale where tools, some of which may have been stolen, are being openly sold.
I'm going to be arresting you for handling stolen goods at this point, OK?
And we'll join the police on the trail of suspects. Also ahead, a London firefighter is killed after this huge fire at a former RAF base. Plus,
and the BAFTA goes to Aryan Bakare!
We'll be speaking to actor Aryan Bakare fresh from his win at the BAFTAs. Good evening. We start tonight with a special investigation exposing the shocking tactics of criminals robbing victims of their livelihood and appearing to brazenly sell their stolen goods at car boot sales. Latest figures show there are more than 10,000 cases of tool theft in London each year. That adds up to a theft in the capital every 50 minutes. And at one boot fair alone, £50,000 worth of tools were seized by police. Those targeted can be left facing financial ruin. We spoke to one victim who was so traumatised he considered taking his own life. Over the course of several weeks, our investigation uncovered alarming footage of daylight robberies, heard from victims left paying the price, and went on patrol with the police confronting the suspects. With our special report, here's Anton Allen.
London is the most dangerous place to be a tradesperson. At least every 50 minutes, power tools are stolen. Even during the day, the thefts are quick, locks are drilled and power tools are grabbed, without a care for the mental impact their crime wave is leaving behind.
So within 5 minutes, you're gone. Everything you've worked for, gone. So you feel violated.
Around £15,000 of Steve's tools were stolen.
Were they ever caught?
No.
The pressure of being unable to provide for his family pushed Steve to attempt to end his own life.
I sort of felt to myself, that's it. I'm worthless. I've got no use to no one. I've got no work. Well, I've got work, but I've got no tools to do the work. I can't provide for my family and my kids. Could get any lower, I would have been underneath the tarmac I was walking on.
You were at the lowest point of your life, probably seconds away from taking your life. What stopped you?
A text message that came through my phone from my 2-year-old son that just button bashed randomly. It didn't make no sense, but I knew that was him, and that was my wake-up call to say, sort of like, what are you doing?
According to a mental health survey by construction website On The Tools, every day 2/3 of tradespeople worry about their tools being stolen. But the victims are fighting back. These tool thieves' attempted getaway was stopped by a pair of hero builders. They forced him to give back the tools by grabbing their car keys before the suspects run away. Paul the carpenter's van still bears the scars from the attempted robbery.
I was amazed that someone actually stepped in and helped me. It could have ended a lot badly for these guys, and I would have felt really guilty if it would have ended like that they would have got hurt. But they're my heroes.
And he showed his appreciation
There you go, lads.
in a typical British fashion.
Thank you so much.
Police! Figures from an FOI from Direct Line show there were over 10,000 reports of tool thefts in London last year.
Just being a victim.
But tradespeople are worried the stats do not reflect the reality on the street.
So I was a tool theft victim myself about 3.5 years ago. A lot of tradespeople now are not even insuring their tools anymore.
2 Londoners, a window restorer and a gas man, have become the leading figures tracking down the thieves and pushing the police to act. I joined their crusade to unmask the tool thieves. At the crack of dawn up and down the country, fields are turned into car boot sales. Some goods were bargained due to being second-hand or bought wholesale. But I suspect the lack of regulations makes boot sales a primary location for criminal gangs to get rid of large quantities of tools for quick cash-in-hand sales. One trader backed up our investigation.
There are genuine people here making bread. We buy and we sell, okay?
But you're saying there's other gangs that are selling stolen goods?
Of course, there is different type of gangs working in the markets. There's one gang that they'll steal people tools and sell them here.
For the first time, the Met Police and Essex Police joined forces to take on the tool thieves. The suspected criminals the police were looking to catch and the power tools they were aiming to retrieve were nowhere to be seen.
Right now the police are in a game of cat and mouse. Despite there being a fairly large number of officers, there's so many different vans, there's so many different stalls, they can't search every single person.
Until the police receive a tip-off that the tools have been hidden away. This man said he was only selling rugs, but somehow power drills, batteries and other equipment flow out of his van.
Loads of tools here earlier and he's sort of just got them hidden.
Gasman Schweb has been working with the police to bring down the black market of stolen tools. Schweb says the fear of becoming a victim is changing tradespeople's behaviour. Many won't take on a job unless they can park in front of the house.
I'd rather get a ticket than get my van broken into.
The cost of increased van security measures is being passed on to customers' bills.
Just that. If I was to buy that itself, it's £579, I believe, something like that.
So you don't think a tradesperson would sell this on Facebook, basically?
Just got no reason to. Why would they sell brand new? And why would they have two of them? There's definitely been stolen from somewhere, maybe a store.
Increasingly, it's what's not on display that tells a story. This car was surrounded by traders, but its table was already folded away, despite many hours left at the boot sale.
If you've got the keys...
Doors open and once again reveal power tools concealed away.
Where have they all come from?
We believe that the person connected to this car is involved in organised crime.
The next suspect had an ironic sticker on his van. Outside, he wanted the police to believe he was only selling bikes, but a quick search revealed more suspected stolen power tools. In all, over £50,000 worth of suspected stolen power tools were seized.
I'm going to be arresting you for handling stolen goods.
And 4 men were arrested. ITV News' investigation found if one boot sale is raided, tool thieves can simply go to one of the many others across the country. A week after the Essex raid, without a police officer in sight, I saw even more power tools on sale in Hounslow. It would need another raid to differentiate the legitimate sales from the suspected stolen goods. Used and new tools, all sold for budget prices. I see a man counting cash after a quick sale. He spots me and demands I stop filming.
Sorry mate, could you stop recording me?
Hounslow Heath boot sale told ITV News they work with the police and have a policy that does not allow the sale of stolen goods.
I've seen how brazen these people are.
Next I joined the Stolen Tools UK campaigner for a trip to Denham Farm.
It's not just happening in London, it's happening all over the country and it's not slowing down.
At the entrance, a sign says selling power tools is not allowed. I've seen a few different pictures that look like they're selling something. I think we're going to have to go inside and see exactly if they've got some power tools. We walk around and can't see any tools for sale openly, but there are lots of batteries for power tools. The question is, where are the drills? Frankie investigates. The man he speaks to quickly shows him that the tools are hidden inside the van.
Are you ever afraid that when you're trying to expose the thieves, they might want some kind of revenge?
All the time, fear for my safety. And every day is always a day where we're exposing a face, a tool thief.
Denham Giant Car Boot told ITV News they have a zero tolerance to the sale of stolen goods. Earlier in the year, tradespeople protested in front of Parliament, demanding to be heard. Now it was my turn to put our investigation directly to the government.
I can't say to you, we do one thing and it's going to solve the problem, but we recognise that there is much more that we need to do.
I think with the boot sales, there is something you can do. The thieves know they can steal tens to hundreds of power tools and they can sell them on quite quickly every Sunday across the country. So is there no way that there can be more regulation at these boot sales?
Well, I think that's certainly something I'm willing to go away and look at now you've explained that to me.
A bill proposed by a Labour MP states 94% of stolen tools are never fully recovered. In the government's own words, this is unacceptable. Sadly, tradespeople can't afford to wait for the government to act. In a joint event with the police, anyone that uses power tools were being encouraged to mark their tools with an invisible liquid.
Under UV, it illuminates blue.
The mark can help the police reveal who the true owner is.
More often than not, when we do get these good results and we do recover tools, it's so hard to put an owner to those tools. And of course, if you haven't got an owner for those tools, you haven't got an offence of handling stolen goods.
Behind the stats and thefts are real people. Carpenters, plumbers, window restorers, electricians, gasmen. Their vans are their life, and each theft gets them closer to the edge.
Anton, really quite remarkable what you found. And this has got the attention of the Prime Minister, hasn't it?
He has. He acknowledged that tradespeople work so hard, and when their tools are taken, it's not just a financial loss, it's devastating to them and their families. He said that the government have given an additional £1.2 billion into policing, but that also includes the shoplifting reports that we've done in previous weeks as well. So when it comes to this additional policing, we don't know if it's going to be a solution to the sale of stolen goods at these boot sales, hence why I talked to the Police and Crime Minister about what needs to be done in terms of regulation. But it's the tradespeople themselves that are really pushing this issue. Frankie and Schweb are going up and down the country to boot sales, putting themselves at risk to try and uncover the stolen tools for other people. I know Frankie's page has grown to 107,000 people have clicked like and constantly commenting. Throughout my investigation, I received pictures and videos beyond the capital. So it's an issue that won't stop today, and hopefully the government can find a solution.
OK, and much more of it on ITVX, I think. Thank you very much, Anton. Next tonight, a man who stabbed a mother to death in front of her young daughter at Notting Hill Carnival has been jailed for life. 20-year-old Shaquille Tibu was sentenced to a minimum of 29 years behind bars for the murder of Cher Maximen. The 32-year-old mother of one became caught up in a street fight during what should have been a day of celebration. Cafe Patter's report does have images and details some viewers may find distressing.
29 years! 29 years!
That was the sentence handed down today to the killer of Cher Maximen.
No sentence is long enough, but we're happy. No, it can never compensate, but we're happy. We're happy.
On a day meant for families with children, Shaquille Tibu went to Notting Hill Carnival armed with a hunting knife. Amidst the celebrations, Shaquille and his brothers got into a fight with another man. And in the commotion of the crowd, Shaquille stabbed Cher in her groin in front of her 3-year-old daughter.
Cher just raised the most magnificent, resilient, strong, wonderful child. And really, she's a real inspiration to all of us for how she has managed the last few months. And it's actually seeing how she has managed herself, which has really inspired and encouraged us to manage ourselves in the way that we have.
3 days after the stabbing, Shaquille Tibu was arrested. He was found guilty in a criminal trial and today learns the consequences of his actions. There were subtle claps and jovial celebrations as the judge read out his sentence of 29 years in a young offenders institute. However, in 2 weeks, Shaquille Tibu turns 21, which means he serves the rest of his punishment in an adult prison.
This was not presented to the jury as a case about gangs, but more as a case of young men intoxicated by drink and drugs, determined to involve themselves in violence.
Beneath today's celebrations is an undercurrent of loss, both for those here who loved Cher and her daughter who now has no mother. Kath Opata, ITV News.
The Ukrainian national has been remanded in custody after appearing in court charged in connection with fires at North London properties linked to the Prime Minister. Roman Lavrinovich, who's 21, is accused of 3 counts of arson with intent to endanger life. And campaigners in South London have won their High Court challenge against Lambeth Council over the hosting of large-scale festivals in Brockwell Park. Judge Mr Justice Mould found parts of the park would be used as event spaces for 37 days this summer, which is 9 days more than the 28 days permitted each year under development rules. A London firefighter has died after a huge fire at a former RAF base in Oxfordshire. Another firefighter and a member of the public were also killed. Carolyn Sim is outside LFB headquarters in Southwark for us now. Carolyn, what happened?
Well, the London Fire Brigade has confirmed today that one of their leading firefighters, a sub-officer, died in that fire in Oxfordshire. A member of the public and an Oxfordshire firefighter also died. It was a huge fire that broke out on the former RAF base at Bicester Motion, which is now a business park. And the London firefighter had been on retained duty, so he was on call with the Oxfordshire service. He was called along with 10 crews to the scene, and it took all night for the flames to be brought under control. Well, today the flag is flying at half-mast here at London Fire Brigade HQ, and Andy Rowe, the London Fire Commissioner, said, "We are devastated by the loss of our colleague, and our thoughts remain with the families and friends of those impacted by this incident." Rob McDougall, who's the Chief Fire Officer for Oxfordshire, was holding back tears when he gave his reaction today to what's happened.
I'm immensely proud. I'm immensely proud and grateful for the exemplary multi-agency response and the unwavering bravery demonstrated by all the emergency services personnel.
Well, the cause of the fire is, of course, under investigation, but the London Fire Brigade in the days and weeks to come will be mourning the loss of one of their own.
Carolyn in Southwark, thank you. Still to come on the programme, we'll have a look at the weekend weather and... we hear what some Crystal Palace fans have to say ahead of the club's FA Cup final tomorrow. But first, my guest tonight starred in one of the most moving TV series of the year, and his performance was recognised with a BAFTA at the weekend. In Mr Loverman, Aryan Bakare plays a man who's been having an affair with his married childhood friend in Hackney. Before we speak to Aryan, here he is accepting his award on Sunday.
And the BAFTA goes to Aryan Bakare.
This award stands on the shoulders of those who've come before me, those who've been afraid to come out, to be who they want to be, and I just say thank you to them, and I hope you feel just as confident as we did when we made the show.
Aryan, welcome to you. It was a beautiful speech. Just before that, in your seat when it was announced, you looked properly shocked.
Yes, I've become a national meme now, haven't I?
It will live on.
It will live on forever. Yeah, I was really taken back. It just happened so fast, you know. I was like, I turned around to my sister and I said, "Oh, just hold on to my speech." And she grabbed hold of it, and then they announced my name, and I was like, "Oh." And I wanted to run back, but I thought, no, I can't.
Well, you still gave a very, very moving message. Let's talk about the show, Mr Loverman. It's by Bernardine Evaristo, the book that it's based on. And it sort of brings together quite a few themes, doesn't it? The ageing Caribbean community in London, sexuality and secrets.
Yeah. Well, the script was written by Nathaniel White, he's a fantastic writer. And basically, when he brought together Bernardine's fantastic book, and it is about a community that we never tell these stories in, you know, queer story, elderly gentlemen's, you know, it's just something you never see, and it is about Barrington Walker. He has been having an affair for over 50 years with his childhood friend, Maurice, who I play, and has been cheating on his wife, Carmen, who's played by the fantastic Sharon D. Clark.
She is amazing in it as well, isn't she?
Such a beautiful actress.
Should we watch a quick clip of the two of you in action?
Both thinking the same thing. Of you coming over to stay for a few days, or even until Carmel get back. But I assure you, I was not thinking about marriage.
That intersection of being gay and black, as you referenced in your BAFTA speech, it is particularly difficult for so many people, isn't it?
It is. It's we never know what the stigma is. We never know why people feel they can't be their authentic self. Within our community, it has always been a hurdle to jump over, and is a massive obstacle. And I hope when people watch the show is that they have a chance to feel as if they could open communication at some point, you know, and feel a little bit braver. And that's really all you hope for.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes TV can start these conversations in living rooms.
And that's what you want. You want it to start the conversation, allow people to realise it's not as scary as you think. You can just open a door to it. Even if you don't agree, at least just allow someone to be able to present themselves. And what you do with that information is up to you. But yeah, and it was really great. That's what Mr. Loverman did. It was, the whole thing was that I have people on the streets constantly coming up to me and saying to me, thank you so much, you know. It was directed so well by Hong Kao. He created a space where the story could be told with such ease, and having Lenny, of course, playing the lead makes it even more fantastic.
Yes.
But it made people feel like we were accessible to them.
Let me focus on you for a moment. You've had a long career as an actor, writer, director, but what does this mean to you? Do you feel like you're having your moment that you've worked so hard for?
I'm still processing it all. I keep saying to people, my toes have touched the ground, but my feet haven't. It's just, yeah, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I've done these really great shows, and I've loved every single part of my career. But yeah, this is the icing. This is it. It was just that moment of real kind of like recognition, and realise that the hard work was worth it, and kind of hope for anybody else who just kind of, there's moments when you're working as a creative that you think, oh, I can't do it anymore. But you have to just keep soldiering on, and this was like the medal at the end of the war.
And the great thing is it's got people talking about the show again, so they can go and find it on the iPlayer. I love that the BAFTA came in its own BAFTA tote bag. That was super impressive for me.
It just came in on its own. It's got a Barrington sexual kind of quality about it.
We've got to go to the weather, Arian, but lovely to have you in.
Thank you very much.
Here's James Wright.
Thank you.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV London weekend weather.
Good evening. End of the week turned out rather nice. Lots of sunshine around, and there will be more sunshine to the weekend. A nice settled one to look forward to. Variable amounts of cloud, but at least it's going to feel pleasantly warm. Now, we do have high pressure dominating. It's ridging down across the UK. Unfortunately, as things get cooler, it sort of starts pulling in some cloud from time to time, but hopefully the back end of each day set to be nice and sunny. As the temperatures dip away this evening, here comes the cloud. It's going to be a bit of a grey end to the night, although as the sun starts to rise tomorrow morning, it might just start to lift already. Temperatures, though, because of the cloud, it's going to be a not particularly chilly one in town. I suspect we won't dip out of double figures. So tomorrow, a bit of a grey start to the day. Won't be long before the sun lifts and breaks and burns back to gin clear skies. Temperatures starting to pick up nicely. Highs of 22 or 23 Celsius. That's partly because the breeze drops out a touch. As far as Sunday goes, well, we start off once again with more cloud pushing across the capital and then burning back. It's going to feel nice and warm once again, and it's rinse and repeat on Monday. That's your weather. Here comes your pollen.
TUI sponsors ITV London weekend weather. Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV pollen count.
And if you suffer from hay fever, I have some good news. We have low counts through the weekend into the weekend. It's all down to the fact we're in the lull between the tree pollen and the grass pollen. That's your lot. Have a great weekend.
Finally, Crystal Palace's FA Cup final appearance tomorrow is more than just a football match. It's a landmark moment for the capital's underdog. Nearly 15 years since the club was saved from liquidation by a group of fans, and a decade into their Premier League survival, the Eagles now stand on the verge of an historic first major trophy. Helen Keenan reports.
They've not won yet, but the celebrations have already begun. Young supporters at this school in Croydon reckon it will be Crystal Palace lifting the FA Cup.
I hope they can win, and they can win it for the first time.
My score prediction, 2-1. 2-0. No, actually, wait. 3-1, 3-1, 3-1.
If they do, it will be the first major trophy in the club's history, and they've come close before. In 1990, they faced Man United in the final, and after a replay, it was the Reds who won. Facing them again in 2016, but this time losing out in extra time. Tomorrow, they're swapping red for blue, taking on Manchester City.
We will give our best, definitely, and I think this is what all our fans are appreciating throughout the season, and this is our mindset tomorrow. Together with our fans, it's possible.
Well, City might be going into this final as favourites, but if you look at how Palace have come so close in this competition before, combined with the magic of the FA Cup and its unpredictability, it could be that Palace are able to finally end their almost 120-year wait for silverware.
Just one more to go where we've never gone before.
And if the Eagles' spirits need a boost, they've even got their own song for the occasion. One more game from Palace for Life patron Ben Bailey-Smith.
How will we react if we win? I think it would be like Glastonbury, but just for Eagles. I've no idea what I'll do. Like I might just burn all my savings and charter a flight to Vegas. Just like the first 50 Palace fans I see. Get on the plane, let's go. For this club, I mean, just immeasurable. We'd be in Europe. It changes the entire narrative around Palace. We're the champions of community, we're the champions of family, and I'm really proud of it. But we'd like to be the champions of something actually football related now.
And a win this weekend would no doubt be a milestone moment for this club. Helen Keenan, ITV News.
Here's hoping. Stay with us. Romilly is here next with the evening news. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.